So we learned about how to deal with form elements. In the form elements, I given you overview about how do we work with text box. Working with text box and text box related attributes. What are the attributes of text box? We discussed. Next, in the form elements, we have so many other elements. I told you one pattern attribute. We will discuss detailedly later. The pattern attribute we will discuss later detailedly. Others we have discussed. What are the attributes and how the attributes are used for text box. Next important, password box. Password box. Password box, it is similar to text box. Password box is all similar to text box. So password box is similar to text box. Text box. Only the point is it is similar to text box, but will display text masked with password characters. Password characters. Masked with password characters. So that's what the point is. Masked with password characters. So masked with password characters, actually password character is asterisk. Password character is asterisk. So all attributes are similar. All attributes will be similar. All attributes will be similar like text box. Only one point is it will not display the characters in a plain format. So the characters are masked with the asterisk. For that, we have to just use the option input type is equal to password. We have to use password. All attributes are same. ID, name, class, min length, max length, required, pattern, everything same. I already told you, validating passwords, patterns, I will tell you at the end of forms. So as of now, let's see how the password box looks like. So how to handle the password box. I will just go to the registration form. I will create a new file, register.html. And here I am defining doc type HTML, HTML head title, register in the body. So I am creating a heading here, register user, and a form. Inside the form, data list with the data term, user name, data definition, input type is equal to text, and another data term, so password, and here input type is equal to password. All other attributes are similar. All other attributes are similar, like ID, name, class, min length, max length, required, autofocus, whatever you have learned for text box, all are same. Only the difference is, so you can see I kept a register button here. Only the difference here is whenever you type any character inside this password box, whenever you type some characters, Username, that is okay. Some username entered. When I'm entering password, the password is displayed in asterisks. That is password characters. Required, min length, max length, patterns, everything similar. How to validate patterns, I will tell you. At the end of the sessions, I will discuss about the form sessions pattern. As of now, you see some browsers will show you the masked characters also. There is an icon inside the text box there. When you click on that icon, it is going to display that text. These days, browsers have this facility. They can show you the password that you are typing. So whether the password characters are correct or not, you can confirm before submitting. By default, they can display. Remember, every browser don't have that ability. Some browsers have that ability to show you the password characters. Some browsers cannot. That is the reason in some interviews, they will ask you like how we can design like this. Show password characters, hide password characters. We can design like that by using JavaScript. By using JavaScript and jQuery, we can design like this. So once click show the characters, again click hide the characters. Such things we can design with JavaScript. But for some browsers, we don't need any JavaScript. By default, they are available. You can directly start using it. So that's generally password boxes, how we can handle the password box. So technically, password box is very simple because all you have learned about text box same like password box. Only the point is it is showing its characters in asterisk. And how to design a password box? We have to use input type as password. That's next important. So we have number input. Number input. Actually, number input, it allows the user to input only numeric value. It allows the user to input only numeric value. So that means it will not allow any other characters. It will allow only numeric value. But some special numeric values are there, I will tell you. It allows user to input only numeric value. That means it restricts the input. It restricts the input to number. It restricts the input to number. Only number you can input. For that, syntactically, you have to design another option. Input type is equal to number. Input type is equal to number. For this number, some extra attributes are there. I will tell you. What is the speciality of this number is these are newly added into HTML5. This number will not allow to input other characters, only numbers. For example, see, I am designing in the form. Let's create here another data term, say age. I am using data definition. Suppose if I give input type is equal to text and the name is equal to some age. Actually, the input type text will allow to input anything. For example, I am typing here a string that is allowed and I click on register, you can see that it is allowing to submit that value. Earlier, in older versions, we have to write a separate logic to verify whether they entered number or not. If they are not entering a number, then show that it is invalid. But now in HTML5, ready-made number type is available. So what you can do is, you can simply say input type number. So here, I can just keep input type number. What is the speciality of this is, it will not allow to input any other value. For example, see now, I am entering some string and it is not allowing. I am trying to type some string, it is not allowing. You cannot enter any string into it, it's not allowing. I am trying to type, it's not allowing. It allows only number. For example, see, I am entering a number. You can enter number, or you can even use this up down arrow. That up down arrow allows you to select in a sequential order, increase, decrease. That up down arrow is not displayed in every browser. So old version browsers will not display that up down arrow. Some browsers will display, some browsers cannot display that up down arrow, but these days all advanced modern browsers can display that. All advanced modern browsers can display that. So this is used to input only number. You cannot input any other characters, only numeric values. But observe carefully, sometimes when you are practicing, you may come with a complaint or a simple point like, some characters I am typing, it is taking. Actually, in JavaScript, you will learn. Suppose when you are dealing with numbers, you should know that hexa is a number, octa is a number, binary is a number, and we have exponent. Exponent is a number. Some characters belong to number. For example, if I say 0B1010, actually the B character is an alphabet, but actually it comes under a number. Together everything is a number. Actually it is a binary representation of 10. It is the binary representation of 10. Due to that, what happens is, some such special characters are allowed. So don't think that alphabet is allowed. For example, suppose here I am typing some E. You can see E is allowed. I am typing some A, it's not working. I am typing some B, it's not working. C not working, D not working, E is working. Actually, E comes under exponent value. Only E comes under exponent value. Due to that, what happens is, if I click register, so you see it is asking enter number, but it is typing. Suppose I say 2E3, something like this, and register, you see it is submitted. The combination of that character is submitted. Actually 2E3 means 2 into 10 to the power of 3. That means it is equal to 2000. It is equal to 2000. I will show you. That you will learn in JavaScript actually. Such things you will learn in JavaScript. So I will show you a simple program here. So later you will learn in JavaScript. Just I am showing you. See, I am writing document.write. Just for your understanding sake, I am writing. If I write 2E3, you see what it will print. 2E3 is equal to 2000. That means 2 into 10 to the power of 3. And you can see it returns 2000. You see it returns 2000. So it's a number. So that is the reason many times people who don't know properly about programming, number techniques and all, they come with a complaint. Sir, you said number means number, but I am typing E is working. Of course it will work, because any programmer knows that it comes under a numeric value. It comes under a numeric value. So such characters are allowed. Such characters are allowed. If any character is converting it into a number, then it is allowed. If not, then it is not allowed. So that is the reason. Don't think that it is alphabet allowed. So it is just a numeric representation of numeric representation. So this is generally so how we can handle input type number. But one more important point, input type number, all attributes are same, like ID, name, class, required, all are same. But extra, we have attributes for number input. What are the attributes for number input extra? That means ID, name, class, required, all these are same, no difference. Extra attributes, here you have min, you have min, you have max, and you have step. Min, max, and step. ID, name, class, value, required, pattern, everything similar. Autofocus, all these are options are same. Actually, for text box and password, you will have min length and max length. Here, instead of min length and max length, you will have min, max, and step. Min, max, and step. So what are these? See, let's see. Min, max, step, and value. Value is same. Value means what value you want default. For example, see, for this age, I am giving here. For that age, I am defining. So attributes like min is equal to, so minimum number. It should, because if I don't give min, what happens is min and max, if I don't give, you can see this age can go negative also. I press down, it will go to negative. It will accept negative values. It will accept positive values, both. That is the reason you can put, so min is equal to some 15, and max is equal to some 25. Now I will save this, and you can see it will allow age. Now you see it will allow number, but when you try to enter some 12 and click on register, it says value must be greater than or equal to 50. Not only that, even if you are using this up down arrows, it will start with 15 on 15 up to 25, you try below, it's not working. You can see below, it's not working. And anything else, if you try to type, so suppose 33 and register, it says so must be less than or equal to 25. So by default, it have a restriction for minimum and maximum. For passwords and for text boxes, we generally use min length and max length. But for number, so we have to define this min and max. Another option is that by default, you can see when I'm using up and down arrows, by default, it is incrementing one value, 16, 17, 18. It is incrementing one value, decrementing one value. You can define step value. So we can say step. Step, suppose I given as 5. That means you can see that. So it is 15. After that, it will go 20. After that, 25. It will not allow anything else. Only those values are allowed. If you try to type 16 and click on register, it says, please enter a valid value. That means the two nearest, it will not allow that value because you said step value, only the step values are allowed. In between values are not allowed. That means 15, 20, 25, like that. Others are not allowed. So you can give these step values in a fraction way also. That means, for example, I given 0.5, step value as 0.5. And you see here, it is 15 and 15.5, then 16, then 16.5, then 17, 17.5, like that. You can also use 0.1 like this. Now it will be like 15, 15.1, 15.2, 3, like this. You can use fractions. So after that, 9, then it will be 16. 16.1, 16.2, then it will be like 70. Step value, you can give even fractions also. That means you can configure in this way. You can give any specific step value, or you can configure the step value in this way also. Your number also can be a fraction value. That means suppose I given 15.00 and 25.00, like that I have defined that. And I clicked here, you see it gives 15 on. Why? Because this 00 don't have a value, so it will not display that. However, later in JavaScript, we can make it display like the fractions and the decimal places. But if the decimal places and the values before the integer 0 before integer, they are not displayed by default. Later we can do that. Initially, suppose if I define, so 15.01 like this, 15.1, 25 point, it is okay, it will work. So by default, you can configure the step value, and step value can be a direct integer value, or it can be a fraction value, fraction. So for numbers, you have these 3 extra options. Value is nothing but, by default, I want to start with value 15. By default, I want that 15 value. You can see by default it is 50. So you can put any value. Suppose by default I want sub 16, and it will start with 16. You can go below, or you can go above. So, but you cannot go below or above the maximum value available. So this is specially used for only numbers. If you want to allow to input only a numeric value, and you want to define a range for the numeric value, then this will be better. Actually, so this type of up down will not come in every browser. I will show you. For example, I will show the same example in a browser called Internet Explorer. Let me use Internet Explorer. In this Internet Explorer browser, I am opening the same page in Internet Explorer browser. And observe here, in this browser, it's an old version browser. So Internet Explorer, old version browser. In this browser, you see here, up down control is not there. That means numeric up down is not there. Age, so up down is not there. You have to type there. You have to type there. Suppose I type 12 and click register, then it shows message. You must enter value between 15 to 25. According to that, it will see its display style also change. It's showing a red mark, but concept is same. So every browser cannot show in the same way, but every browser have the ability to validate the numbers, even it is an old version. But some browsers can display up-down control. Some browsers cannot display that up-down control. So how to handle that for every browser, you have to understand. So that's the reason you should know the difference, that in some browsers, these options will work. For some browsers, they will not work. You need to understand. So technically, so how you define input type number syntactically, so you can configure in this way. Input type is equal to number, and the name is equal to some age, min is equal to some 15, max is equal to 25, and I just given here step temporarily. Step is equal to some 0.1. Like this, you can configure. Other attributes are same. Other attributes means required attribute, focus, autofocus attribute, read-only attribute, disabled attribute, all others are same. Additionally, so what you learned for text box are similar. Additionally, it have limitation for only number, and it have 3 extra attributes, that is min, max, and step. This is input type number. For number type, you have another option. So we have range input. Range input, it is similar to number, but will display a slider to select numeric value. It will display a slider to select numeric value. That is what input type range is actually. So range input is similar to number, but it will display a slider. It is going to display a slider. So to the numeric value, to select the numeric value, it will display a slider. So that means slider is nothing but, that means all attributes are same. So what you have to define here, for range input, you have to specify similarly same options. So input type is equal to range. You can have name. Suppose I said price. Minimum is equal to some 1,000. Maximum is equal to some 10,000. And step values you can give. So suppose I given step is equal to some 100. Like this, you can define. It is same like number, but actually range will display a slider. Instead of up down arrows, it will display a slider so that you can select a value from the slider. Let's see. For example, just I will change this. So input type. So from number to range. For example, I am changing the type number to range. I'm changing the type number to range. When I change a number to range, you can see, so you can see a slider will come like this. This is slider. And you can slide this, but its value is not coming. The value is not shown here. So you can show those values while sliding by using JavaScript. You have to collect the value and display on the screen. These type of sliders are very common in adjusting the name, adjusting the brightness, contrast, or you are giving a number to select from the range. So that means minimum, maximum, price range, filters you want to apply, such you can design. But one problem here is several browsers cannot display which number currently it is selected until or unless you submit it. Suppose I click register, now it will submit that 18. So you can put any range actually. For example, instead of age, I am making it as price. And minimum I given as 1500 and maximum I given as 25,000. And value, I am not defining anything. Or you can give some 1500 value as 1500 starting value. And step your wish. You can give a step value or you can remove that. And you can see now, here I will put the name as price temporarily. Now you can see when you are sliding the slider, it will not show the value. When you are sliding the slider, it is not displaying any value. But when I click register, you can see it submits that value. So that is 12,083. So important here is, very important you should know is, according to the value, suppose you given the value as 10,000. And automatically you can see slider starts from the 10,000. And when you register, it will submit that 10,000 value. So generally in websites, while sliding itself, they show the value. that you have to do with JavaScript. For example, you see websites like, suppose I will go to a banking site, some HDFC. So HDFC, this is a banking site. In this banking site, so HDFC Bank, let's scroll. And here you can see I have some EMI calculator. When I open that EMI calculator, you can see in the EMI calculator, so EMI calculator, yeah. You see in the EMI calculator, so it will display, it will load that EMI calculator. It will display options for selecting personal loan calc. You can see this is the personal loan calc. These are sliders actually. These are input type range. You see amount you need. It is a text box. And when I am sliding here, you can see the number is changing above. Such things we can do with JavaScript. So while sliding, it will not show the value here by default. These are all sliders only. These are all sliders used for numbers. And you know already how to get that fraction also. So step value you can define. Step value you can configure, and step value you can define. So fractions, how much step value you can, but this is also number. This is also number. But while sliding, the value is not displayed directly until or unless you write a program for that. That means we have to write the logic, through the logic, so we can display the value. So that you will learn in JavaScript and jQuery. So how to collect the value and display. So similarly, so in HTML, you can only design it. You can see this is the slider. Until or unless you submit it, you don't know the value. You don't know the value. But if you want to know the value while sliding itself, so that you can achieve, so by using JavaScript and jQuery. Colors and all, CSS, Bootstrap, by using them, you can set the colors for it accordingly. So which you will learn while learning the concept called Bootstrap. You will learn about how to give the appearance in a better way for such sliders. But this is also for number input only. This is also for number input, so that you can input numbers and you can handle numbers. So that is basically input range. So we have text input, password input, number input, range input. Next important, we have date input. We have date input. Date input, it is a text box. It is a text box that allows to input date value. Allows to input date value. Some browsers can display a date picker, so that you can select a date. But not all browsers. Some browsers can display a date picker. So that a date picker allows you to select date. So, but important is in the latest version, some browsers can't display. They will display plain text box on. That is the reason. So what we do is, while designing a website, we use JavaScript and jQuery for designing date pickers. Because some browsers will display, some browsers will not display. I will show you that. We have compatibility issues. For example, let's remove all this temporarily for you. I will just keep here data term, and let's say departure date. And here I am defining a date picker. For date picker, so many options are there. I will tell you. Actually, for date picker, we have options. Input type is equal to, we have date. Input type is equal to date. So, and ID as departure, name as departure. Okay, fine. Observe here, input type date, that is one option. So input type you can set as date. Okay. Input type date. So it will give you a date picker. You can see a calendar will come. A calendar will come. So you can select it. So you can select from there. So that means you can click in that and it will display a calendar. You can select a year, you can select a month, and you can choose a date, and that date will be selected. So it's a calendar, but observe carefully. Some browsers cannot display. I already told you, old version browsers, like suppose I open the same in Internet Explorer. When I open in Internet Explorer, see in Internet Explorer, the date picker is not there. Date picker is not there. It's not showing the calendar, but it is there in the browser like Edge or Chrome. It is showing it. It is showing, but it is not present in Internet Explorer. You try to type some text and click on register. So that means we are trying to submit some date. It is submitting. That is not good. That is the reason later in JavaScript and jQuery, you will learn how to design such date pickers by your own. The advantage of that is it will not support to enter any another value. Not only that, it will work on every browser. In an old version browser also you can use it. In a very old version browser also you can use it. So you can use input type date. So to select a date. Here some more important points are there, I will tell you. So input date is there. Okay. Another option, we have input type as date time, local. Actually, in the latest version, they removed one concept. In old versions, we used to have so many other things. Actually, in the new version, you have date time local. You have date time local. Date time local, it will display both date and time. So date is displaying only date. We have date time local. That means this is only date. Only date. You can use date time local. This is so both date and time. User can select both date and time. Earlier in old version, we have input type is equal to date time. So this is not supported. So this is no longer in use. No longer in use. So you should not use that. But some websites will be showing you. Some websites will be showing you like input type date time. But remember those, that is an old option and it is removed from the latest versions. So that is the reason always use date time local, not date time. So they will show, see in the, when I am typing input type is equal to date time option is provided. But when I select that date time option here, you can see it's not working. But that option is there in old version. It's not supported in the latest browsers. That's the reason don't use date time, use date time local. Use date time local. So it allows you to select both date and time. You can choose the date and you can choose the time. It allows you to choose both date and time. That's good. So if you want, you can put only date or you can put date and time. So this date time is no longer in use. Don't use that. For date, there is another option. Actually, we can also use input type for date types. Actually, input type, we can give month. Input type month. Actually, month allows you to select a month from any particular year. it allows you to select a month. It allows you to select a month. The year numbers will come, and you can select the year and you can select the month. It will select that year and month. That means it will allow you to select date, it will allow you to select date time, and it will allow you to select the month. So you can configure input type as month to select the month. So input type, we have month. So it is only month and year. Only month and year you can select, not date. You cannot select the date, only month and year. You have input type as a week also. Input type as week. It allows you to select entire week of a particular year. Actually, every year, so the weeks are divided. That means you are preparing a plan. In the plan, you want to select certain week number. So on that week, you want to do certain actions. Then you should allow. So only week. You can see I am writing here input type. Input type is equal to week. Input type is equal to week. You can see this is the week. You click here and it will allow you to select the entire week. That means this week of 2021, November, this week of 2021 comes under 44th week. 44th week. And you select it and it selects that week 44. That means all the days in that week can be collected. So that means once user selects week or when user selects month, we can collect all the days and the weekdays and display them through our JavaScript. Here you are allowing only selection. Through the selection, whatever they make, so we can collect it and we can use it in our JavaScript and handle the manipulations. So for date, you have so many things. Actually, for input type date, so we also have year early days. So year is also there in early days, but now it is removed. We don't have any year. Earlier we used to have this year also. So for date, you are having so week, month, date time also not there, date time local and date. Actually, for date, you can put the range of dates. That means you can configure the range of dates and you can display the range of dates. You can configure and display the range of dates. So we can configure and display the range of dates. So we can configure and display the range of dates. Range of dates are nothing but usually. So that means, for example, when we defined input type as date, we configured input type as date. You can see this is date. User can select any date. I don't want that. So I want user to select only from November 5th to November 20. Other dates should not be allowed. Even another month, next month or year should not be allowed. Remember, date will not allow to select range of dates. That means 5th to 7th, you cannot select like that. Currently, the date pickers given by HTML will not allow that. For that, we have to design special date controls using our programming skills with the JavaScript and jQuery. So, and we have to depend on some third parties for such date. There is no range picker. That means you cannot select range of dates. You can select only particular date. There is nothing like a range of dates. But generally you see in websites, range of dates can be selected. Those are the calendars designed by developers. We have to design such calendars manually for handling dates. So currently, if you want to restrict the date, then what you can do is simple. You have to use min and max. Minimum date, maximum date. You have to use by using min and max. This is very regular question asked in interviews, how to restrict the dates. You can restrict the dates by using minimum and maximum. But how to write the date? Remember, always dates are written in year, month, day format. Year, month, day format. Many people ask like, can I change the format? No, you cannot change the format. It is a standard format. You have to use year, month, day for entering the date. So but while displaying, you can display in your own style, day, month, year, month, day. So any style you can display, but while taking the date, it will take year, month, day only. It will not take any another format. So I am giving year 2021 hyphen month, so 11, so day is 05. Okay, that is minimum, and maximum 2021 and 11, and date is some 22. That means you can select a date from 5th November to 22 November only. So that is the minimum and maximum. So here, now already I told you, don't come with a complaint like, sir, I am typing month, day, year, it is working. We don't care what is working. We always talk about standards. Huh? So as per the, because if you give another format, it may be working for some browser, but it will not work for other browsers. So we don't care about such formats. We always care about the standard format. So what is the standard format? Okay. Now you see here, when I click on this calendar, you can see now I cannot select 4th, 3rd, 1st. I can select only 5th, 6th, 7th, up to 22 only. You see, I can select up to 22. I cannot even select 23, 23, 24. You cannot select other years also. You see, other years, months, not selectable, not selectable, because you defined minimum and maximum, and it will allow only that. That means it allows the user to select a date only within that specific range. Within that specific range, it will not allow to select anything else. So that is what actually how input range can happen, how it can handle the date range of values. So you have also an option for value. Value means, suppose 2021 and I given as 10, 11, and so that is date is 8. I'm giving like this 8. So that means you can see default date will be 8. That means whenever I open, by default it will select 8. It will select 8. Of course, user can select up to what range is defined, but by default, if you want anything, you can keep it as well. Same like number and the range inputs you have given, you have to define that min, max, and value. That's the option how you have to configure for date. So for date, you have a lot of things. You have date, date, time, local, month, and week. So syntactically here, frequently asked question is how to restrict date value. How to restrict date value. So that is nothing but, so the answer for this is by using, so min, by using min, so max and value. By using min, max, and value, you can restrict the date value. Actually, min and max by using min and max. Value is so default value. What default value you want to display, that is the default value. So by using min and max, we can configure the range of value to be selected. So syntactically, one more point is the format also important. So here you have to define input type is equal to date, and min is equal to, so 2021, some 11, some 5. That is the minimum, and max is equal to 2021 and 11 and some 20, something like this. And here note, so one important note, so always the date format, always the date format must be in year, so year, month, day. This you have to remember for even JavaScript, jQuery, anywhere in client side technologies or server side when you are dealing. You have to follow the same standards. If you don't follow the standard of year, month, day, for certain type of browsers it will allow, for other browsers it will not allow. So always follow the same format for dates and configure them. So this is input type date, how to handle date input. So you have text input, password input, number input, range input, date input. Another important, we are having email input. It's very simple. That means it is similar to a text box. It is similar to a text box, but allows to input email format, allows to input email format. So email format means with at the net symbol, with at the net symbol. But already I told you, if you remembered, in the form concept, I already told you that this email format may not be suitable for your requirement every time. That is the reason we have to suppress this and we have to write our own email validation. But it is available. You can define input type is equal to email. If you define input type, all other attributes are same, like required, read only, value, ID, class, all are same. But speciality here is it will by default validate email. By default validate email, but that email may not be suitable for everybody's requirement. You have to change with your JavaScript according to your requirements. As of now, you see, suppose I am asking here your email, and here input type I will define as email, and so name I am giving as email. Okay, and you see now here in this text box, if I try to type something like some John and I click on register, so it's not allowing. It says please include at the net. Okay, I included at the net gmail.com. Then you see it's register successful. But very important is if I say John at some Gmail, so at Gmail, and I click on register, it's also submit. But such things we should not allow. Then you have to write man. But it is having a default email format that verifies whether the email is under specific or not. That means it will check whether the email is within the standard or not. But of course, it is not suitable for everybody's email requirements. Then what you have to do is you have to configure according to the situation. So you have to write your own validations and you have to define your own validations. Configure and define your own validations. Yeah, you know already, right? If you turn on your cameras, I am removing them from the class. So whoever turning on the cameras, I am removing them from the class. So if you try to play, I will play with you also. Okay, simply. My play will be very rash play. I will remove permanently from the classroom Google also. So if you turn on your cameras, then you are on your own risk. Already I warned you because many people are complaining about your nuisance. So of cameras on and off, and simple, very simple, 2 steps. 1 step, remove from the class here, remove from the Google class, and you will not be allowed again. So simple, straightforward, removing from the classes. Okay, yeah. So be careful in that. So this is input type email. So how we can configure email, how you can define the email input, right? So we have email input, we have number input, range input, password input. One more option is there similar to this. Another important is URL input. URL input. So it allows input of valid URL format. Valid URL format. It allows input of valid URL format. Valid URL format. URL format means, suppose Here I give an email address. Similar to email address, suppose you can say input type as URL, and here I define as web address, so or website, something like this. And here I define as your website, and website address. Actually, this is URL. That means in this when I am trying to type, some www.amazon.in and click on register, it says please enter a URL. But actually this is URL. According to this, URL should start with http colon double slash like that. That means it can even verify URL also. It can verify URL. So it allows you to verify URL and handle URL. So if you are not typing the URL in a proper format, and register, so it will register. So if see, proper format means suppose it is not having HTTP and I said some Amazon and it says it's invalid. But sometimes, so already I told you, they may not suit your requirements every time, because without .com, .in also it is submitting. So if I just give HTTP, it is submitting, but it should not submit. Then you have to write your own validation, whether it is ending with .com, you have to write your own validations. You need to configure your own validations and handle them. So basically, when you are dealing with the validations and handling the validations, you should know this approach. So by default, you have input type URL. It's a URL format. So that means URL format means you can define like this: input type is equal to URL. But these things are not great in validations. That's the reason we don't use regularly. Because we always prefer writing our own validations, because these are available but not great. Why? Because they are not suitable for our kind of requirements. That is the problem. So we have to write our own validation. So in the input type, you have these all formats. So that means various types of input: text input, number input, range input, date input, email input, URL input. Another very important in the input, you have file input. Another very important file input. File input is nothing but it allows to select and upload a file, So from actually it is not uploading. Let it be more clear. It allows you to browse and select a file for uploading, But remember, it will not upload the file. It is just selecting a file. Upload, you have to write the logic with JavaScript. You have to write the logic. For uploading, you have to select a file. That only the option. For that, what you can do is, here we can define input type is equal to file. Here so many options are there. How to restrict file type, how to restrict the file size, how to allow only to select a specific type of file. These are all very regularly asked questions. We will discuss about them. So many points are there about it. So initially, some attributes we will see one by one. So detailedly we will discuss other attributes also. So actually, suppose I am giving here upload your photo, or upload your resume like this. Upload your photo, upload your resume, something. Then here I can define input type as file, name as resume, like this. So here you can see By default, by default, an upload file option will come like this. You see, by default, an upload file option comes like this. That means upload your resume, choose file option will be there. But remember, it is only selecting the file, as I told you. It is not uploading. It is only selecting the file. It is not uploading. Don't think that it is uploading, because uploading is done through logic. After selecting the file, collect the file, send it to server. For that, you need to write a lot of programs. So as of now, this is HTML, which allows you to select file. And remember, different browsers have different appearance. For example, so in latest browsers, it will look like this. I click choose file. It will ask you to select a file. That means you can select a file. That means a file browser will open. Here you can choose any file. So you can choose any file. So from your disk, you can select any file and choose a file. Suppose I am selecting some file from the desktop, some HTML. So some document I am selecting, and I am selecting open. That file will open. Remember, don't think that it is uploaded. It's not uploaded. It is only selecting. So without knowing this point, many people blindly ask question like, sir, how to restrict the size to upload? So understand my English again. Clearly, I am telling you in English again and again. This is not uploading the file. This is only selecting the file. Here, uploading is not happening. Blindly, some people don't hear this point and dumb. They are dumb. They again and again ask the question, sir, how to restrict the size of the file? So again and again, I am telling, this is not uploading file. It is only selecting file. Uploading is not done here. It is only selecting. Uploading is done by your programming. That programming will tell the restriction for the size of the file to upload. This is not uploading. It is just selecting. Even you define the size here, it doesn't matter because it's not uploading. It is just selecting. So after selecting, what we have to do, generally people have to put a button and put a button called upload button. We have to keep a upload button. On that upload button, we have to write the logic. So that you have to do with JavaScript and jQuery. So don't think that this is uploading file. This is not uploading the file. It is just selecting the file. It is giving an option to select the file. And different browsers have different appearance. For example, see, when I am opening this, suppose let's open in another browser. This is general Edge browser. It is showing like this. Let's open in another browser like Internet Explorer. So when I open in Internet Explorer browser, its appearance looks different. You see, it is having a browse button, and I click the browse button, and I can select any file from there. I can select any file from there. So that means I have the browse button, and I can select some file, and I say open. That file will open and display there. But in another browser, it is having different, but purpose is same. Purpose is same. Its appearance may be looking different, but purpose is same. So file upload can be done so by using JavaScript or jQuery. But file selecting is done by using this. Here, while selecting, some options are present, which we have to learn. That means how to restrict uploading of a specific file. That is later in JavaScript jQuery you will do. This is not uploading. So it will not upload the file. It is just selecting the file. But actually, when you design this, by default, it is allowing to select. It is allowing to select only one file. It is allowing to select only one file. Suppose I try to select another file. So bootstrap and control key or shift key. So another file is not working. Only one file is selected. If you want to allow multiple files, you can use several attributes are there. I will tell you attributes detailing. So to select multiple files, you have to use the option. You have to use the option multiple. You have to use the option multiple. So if you use the option multiple, then it will allow to select multiple files. That means you see now, when I click choose files, and you can see now I can select multiple files, more than one file I can select, and open, it says 2 files select. When I click on register button, you can see those 2 file names are submitted. What our people have to do in programming is they have to collect the file names and they have to write the logic for uploading into server. So this is not uploading the file, this is only selecting the file. For that, so many restrictions are there, so many attributes are there. Another important is how we can allow to select only JPG files, how we can allow to select only PDF files, how we can allow to select only DOC files. Because I asked them to upload photo, they should not upload other type of files. They should allow only JPG and PNG. We can set restriction for file type also. So how to set restriction for file type, how to set the restriction for file sizes, these basic things we will learn. That we will see in our next session. Okay. So tomorrow we will discuss about that. In tomorrow session, we will discuss some more controls, radio buttons, check boxes and all. Mostly by tomorrow, we can finish the forms concept. Then we will learn about validations and how to handle with the forms. We will try to design some real world forms with the help of websites. Okay. Tomorrow we will continue with the other elements and work with them. Right.